So June 16th of last year, and I just want to set this up too for folks, and you can go back and watch on, I found the meeting, June 2nd, about 14 minutes in, the police gave their budget presentation in 2020. What is significant about this presentation is that obviously it was within a week of the George Floyd murder, and it was right when, global protests were breaking out about this, or about that case, or that situation. So, the police budget was probably already written for that year. Their presentation was already written. But obviously there was a lot of outcry, a lot of anger, a lot of concern. And so the presentation was pretty bad. It definitely did not meet the moment we were having at that time. And so I think the question for tomorrow is have the police learned anything? And so June 2nd was the police presentation last year. It got pushed back because of COVID and all that. And so they were running way behind because they have to pass the budget by the end of June. And so you can go find that meeting. It's on YouTube, June 2nd, Oklahoma City budget presentations. But it's basically like a rah-rah, the police are great, we're all doing an awesome job. And then about 20, 30, 40 citizens to be heard saying well, we think you're not, and here are the reasons why. So what came out of it was this resolution by Councilman Cooper around 6 community policing initiatives. More training in crisis response, officer access to mental health services, alternative response to mental health calls, focus on youth outreach, expansion of homeless outreach initiatives, and creation of a neighborhood safety violence interruption program. And so what we got out of that was they hired a consultant, 21CP, on a very split vote. People weren't real thrilled with them. And they waited until December to do that. And now it's a year later. And, the question is, are they including all of these in the FY22 budget? And, you can kick the can down the road forever, I guess. I mean, it's possible to never address any problems ever. That's always an option. And, America's super good at taking that one. But you also can, use your resources to address that. And so the question will be tomorrow is the police department even going to pretend like they give a single shit about these problems and that they're going to do something meaningful to address them? Or is it going to be another agitprop piece saying that the police don't actually have the problems we say they do? Because Gorley got up last year and lied. He said that we aren't the second highest in the country and that we don't have a problem with police violence. And mind you, this is before the killings of Benny Edwards and Stavian Rodriguez, and before the fact that 6 officers are currently charged in 2 separate homicides of citizens in the year of our Lord 2020, after all these protests and after all these public comments, after this resolution. So, the question tomorrow is, did the police do anything? Did they hear anything? I don't know. We don't know. I would say there's reason to be skeptical and concerned because on February 26th of this year, this is what the police put out. So for folks that did not see this, or if you did, this was the police department's synopsis, I guess you could call it, of the protests in late May. It is a 28-minute propaganda piece about how bad the protests were. it really feels like you're missing the point here, guys. Nobody died in any of those protests. Minimal damage. In many cases, they didn't even catch the people that did the damage. They caught people. I mean, I think like there was a guy the other week that fighting. I don't know if it's terrorism charges. I guess his terrorism charges got dropped, but like one of the only people they're prosecuting for burning of a police car is a guy that videoed the burning of the police car, and they're claiming that he egged it on or something. So it's just sort of like, so you're blaming the guy who is obviously not burning it because he is watching the burning of it. Seems weird. And also would seem very incriminating if he were the one who did it. So, yeah, I mean, the deal is the police are just misplacing their resources and investing in a 28-minute hit piece on protesters instead of, getting their own house in order and stop killing people, which is what, the whole point of those protests were. So all this to say, yeah, I think there's reason to be concerned about what the police are going to do tomorrow. They have this resolution that was passed, which, again, we have a weak council system, so the city council can't hire or fire the police chief. They can't tell the police what to do, but they set the policy, and they voted unanimously, I believe, on this policy. And so, the question is does the city manager have control of the city, and is he able to get the people that he employs to do their job? And I think that is what citizen pressure and what citizens and groups like Make It Right are trying to make apparent, is whether or not they are going to follow through with this.